Devil Hunter's Chainsaw Man chapter 182 titled Cute has Denji standing up for himself, Yoru just outright admitting to Denji that she has feelings for him, and then we see two very familiar faces. Chapter 182 is definitely one of the best chapters that we've seen in part 2 and all of its entirety, with the crazy callback that I didn't think we were going to go to. So what the hell am I talking about? You know what? Let's just actually talk about that final panel. Aki and Power are back? What? Now, before I get too crazy, the outside of the panel is black, and people have indicated to me previously that if that is the case, then it is a flashback specifically. So Aki and Power aren't physically here. Maybe in the alternate dimension of the aging devil. I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole, but we see a flashback of Aki and Power. And if you look at these outfits, it is very similar to the outfits that Power and Aki wore in chapter 72, which was the beginning of the Gun Devil arc. When we do our detective work, we see in the beginning of chapter 72, when Aki's going to his family grave because he goes once a year, he ends up telling both of them that I get depressed every year because this is like horrific moment. I mean, yeah, you're going to see like your family that got pulverized by the Gun Devil, but because Power and Denji were such a nuisance to Aki, he was so distracted he didn't have time to be depressed. And one of the last scenes we see as Power is knocked out cold is that Denji and Aki are actually really having a genuine moment together, with Denji even saying, I cannot see crap with all this snow. And who would have thought many chapters later that the Gun Devil panel and this whole thing with Denji and how he'd been handling trauma or not coping with trauma is coming full circle right here. Now it makes really more sense that the team that Public Safety has put together with the Bitterness Devil, with the Snow Devil, with Yoshida with the octopus, and the other ones I can't remember right now, are here for something. But before I say this is all a masterfully laid out plan from Public Safety or even Fami the Hunger Devil, is that the Aging Devil still wanted to be consumed by Pochita, and Pochita outright refused it. So if we see Denji vomiting the Snow Devil here, what is Bitterness and what is the Octopus Devil going to also add in these upcoming chapters? Bitterness can heavily allude to Makima, and interestingly enough, as we alluded to, the person who escaped the Aging Devil's world with volume 17 heavily being implied that it's Yoshida. What is Yoshida going to do if he's brought back to surface again here? Who knows? There's a lot of crackpot theories we can all speculate, so let me know in the comments down below how you feel about that. Guys, I do have a merch store called nengarden.com, and look at this, voila! I finally got Chainsaw Man merch for you. We have 2 different size mouse pads. Get yours now, 15% automatic discount code when you check out. I only have a limited print run for this. Now let's actually go to the beginning of this chapter where Yoru and Asa ends up telling Denji that I've lost someone. Yoru clearly lost her 2 children recently with her recent actions, but more importantly, Asa lost her mother a long time ago when she tripped and fell when her mother was saving her from a devil. And we see Asa admit here, if only I was faster enough, if only I wasn't clumsy, if this, if that, whatever. And I think what makes this chapter so beautiful and already tragic is that now we actually see for the first time Yoru and Asa both confessing to Denji, hey, you can always wonder what if when you lose people precious to you, and that feeling is always going to stay with you forever, and that's going to suck, but you have to live on for a better day. And what a beautiful callback when Asa ends up telling Denji, I lost all hope, but it was you, Chainsaw Man, who said life throws you a lot of crap sometimes and you gotta eat a crap burger. I am paraphrasing here, but you know what I'm saying. So we see Denji help out Asa in this dark, horrific moment with the falling devil, mind you, one primal fear, and now many chapters later, Asa's returning the favor here. Losing people sucks, and that's a part of life. But you know what? You helped me out, now let me help you. And I think them now finally sharing this experience together is going to help both of them grow as as a character, and perhaps this is already playing to what the aging devil wants. I'm gonna make them grow up. I'm going to make them be mature. And nothing says mature than being vulnerable to someone you care about or you want to care for, and seeing how authentic and genuine you can be. I mean, this chapter really is beautiful, and it has it all. And again, before Denji can say anything, he ends up throwing up the snow devil, which again, the forest of the aging devil is completely covered in snow. And what are we going to see here? Going back to the Aki and Power thing, well, I think there's going to be some type of closure. You know, many people who go through traumatic experiences, sometimes there's something left unsaid there. So if the aging devil, again, is going to make them grow up, and maybe this is now Denji confronting his trauma with Aki and Power, or just, you know, just getting closure on the situation. Denji saw firsthand what Makima did to Power. Denji was the reason why Aki ended up losing his life, albeit indirectly through the manipulations of Makima. So I ask you again, bitterness is coming up. I don't know about you, I think that's probably leading to Makima. But that aside, let me just say, I love how Denji stood up for himself in the beginning of the chapter. Yoru ends up kissing Denji, and she's like, hey, you're cute when you cry. And you know, although that's kind of like adorable, like, oh my God, like when you're angry or when you cry, I think that's so cute. Like, you heard like couples say that, right? Like, oh my God, when you cry, it's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Denji's like, no, whenever my libido goes crazy, leads to just unfortunate tragedies and deaths. For once, I don't want to think with my libido, and I'm gonna say back off, because previously, many times we would have seen Denji. Hell, we saw it with Fumiko in the movie theater, where Denji's like, let me, you know, suck on this, whatever he sucked on, like a squid or something like that, and Fumiko laughed, and you know, Fumiko didn't give Denji what he wanted, right? And now we see Denji here where it's like, no sexy time. This is trauma I'm trying to sort out, and this is the first time I'm acknowledging my libido is the problem for many things that has happened in my life. And again, is that really the case? No, it's just unfortunate that he was the vessel to host Pochita, and everyone wanted Chainsaw Man, and they manipulated him. And again, because Denji never truly matured properly because of you know, lack of parents and, you know, just the surroundings and environments he was in, of course he's gonna come to this conclusion saying, no, my libido leads to death, leads to trauma, leads to all this crazy stuff. And although you cannot blame him for thinking that way, we realistically know that's not the case. He has just been a victim many, many times over. So to see Denji really grow up and have some true character development here, and again, for Asa to also give in and be vulnerable with Denji and them share a moment here, is absolutely fantastic. We are going to discuss more of this in the live chapter later today. And if you want to see that, you can go ahead and click on this video right here.